It's another side that, like, wants to take more. But wants to go that one more round. Because, like, going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. You know what I mean?
Welcome to One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. I'm your host, and with me today, as always, is Katie and Kyle. Katie, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm drinking my cold brew. Unfortunately, I'm barely keeping my dogs alive. Balboa, the girl, has had to have another surgery to remove rocks from her tummy. Even though I completely changed my landscaping, she somehow finds rocks. And then there were some complications with it. So I'm nursing a dog back to health. Other than that,
the name like Balboa eating rocks, Rocky, right? Yeah.
Yes, maybe that's
I believe Balboa is supposed to eat lightning and crab thunder. So.
You're right. She's got it wrong somehow. Yep, you're right. Good one, Kyle.
Well, hopefully speedy recovery to your animals. I know they're family.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works out. Kyle, how are you?
I'm hanging in there. I'm doing pretty good. Dumped the kids off at my parents' yesterday, which was nice. Got to work on fixing my bike up and doing stuff around the house. So had a few drinks last night, and I'm feeling surprisingly good this morning. I don't know how that worked. But...
You don't feel like a sterno bum?
No, I'm sure that'll come later.
All right. Well, it's always good to be here with you guys. It's hard to believe how fast 2 weeks goes now, eh?
Yeah, but it's fun. I always have fun with you guys, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We got a couple of people in our Discord, so as always, check out the show description notes for the Discord channel. What Discord is, for those who maybe don't know, Discord is just a social app. It goes on your phone, it can go on your laptop. You click on the link will direct you right to the Discord server. That is the last of the Action Heroes podcast server. And people can join the shows when they record live in Discord. You can join the live recording. So essentially you're seeing us live. It's pre-edit. You're joining the discussion. You can talk to us while we're recording. So I think it's a great service. We got a couple people here, Donald and Baz. And Baz just wanted to say that he just did the Yo Rocky film tour in Philadelphia. He did the steps and all that good stuff. So he had a great time with that.
That's so awesome. I'm jealous.
Is Baz the guy from the UK? Did he fly over to Philly or?
UK or Australia? Baz let us know in the chat. But yeah, that's a big trip. So he did the Yo Rocky film tour. That's the big, obviously the exclusive tour for the Rocky films and the sites and what have you. Yes, he's from the UK, he just says. So big commitment to do that. So good job on you, Baz, and I'm glad everything went well for you and your wife, it sounds like. We got some emails, and these emails are going to produce a lot of discussion points. So it'll be interesting to see how much film we actually get through today. And once Katie's reading these emails, we'll see. Katie, yeah, I wrote the word pause in the email. Don't read the word pause. That's just a cue.
I'm not a moron, Ryan.
I know, I'm trying to like streamline our show. I'm thinking, oh yeah, there's, instead of me just saying, hey, pause.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. I know you're very smart. You're smarter than both me and Kyle put together. Okay.
No. I appreciate the heads up nonetheless.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we have one from Donald, and Donald's on with us, so that's awesome. Dear Ryan, Kyle, and Katie, I hope this email finds everyone well. I haven't written in for a while. I got too used to live Discord recordings. As Mickey would say, I got civilized. But I wanted to write in to discuss all of the recent Sly news.
Oh, was there a pause there?
Yeah.
Oh,
shall I continue?
Sorry, that was a practice pause. Okay, good job. You passed the test.
I cost this podcast thousands of dollars because you can't read.
I love
Just
it.
read the dummy card, Katie. Come on. All right, keep going. Yeah, the pause on that one. Okay, sorry. Keep going. Sorry.
First, the bad news. A Planet Sly update. There are almost 10,000 NFTs available, valued at approximately $3,000 each, but you need to have 3 of them in order to get a dinner with Sly. So you're spending about $9,000 plus travel expenses to Florida. Florida. Oh, just kidding for all of you Florida listeners, for a dinner and after party. Comparatively, in 2014, Sly made his only appearance at a Comic-Con, charging a maximum of $800 for a picture and autograph combo. Adjusted for inflation, that would be about $971.56 today. So this sort of price hike is pretty crazy. To be fair, the chance to meet Sly is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for most fans. That kind of value is something that most NFTs don't offer consumers, so at least Sly is trying to make it worth the hefty price tag. It just ain't worth this much.
All right, so now we got some prices. So thank you, Donald, for getting that information. So now we have prices at the NFTs. $3,000 for an original digital character of Sly in some sort of outfit. You know, basically you have a Sly avatar with sunglasses and a machine gun. Another one will have sandals and a golf club. Who knows? That's kind of what he's selling. $3,000 each to claim ownership of that avatar image is my understanding. If you get 3 of them, I don't know how this is organized, because in theory, let's say 300 people, let's just pretend 300 people, because there's 10,000 available, right? Is he going to host like some sort of huge gala event? Because let's say you do have all 10,000. Let's say all gets sold out. How does he host this kind of dinner?
There's 10,000 NFTs at 3,000 a pop.
Right.
And you need 3.
You need to have a dinner with him. So you're right. So divide that by 3. Let's say
you need to have 3,300 dinners. Well, 3,333 repeating dinners. I think they know that they're not going to get that kind of interest. I guess if they did, that's a lot of money. That's an easy paycheck, having dinner with someone for $9K. I'll have dinner with anybody for $9K if they pay me.
While I love Sly, I wouldn't probably partake in something like this, because it's not like an intimate dinner. You know what I mean? It's with hundreds or possibly thousands of other people. So it's like just another event, and you just happen to get, dinner with it.
They would have to, in theory, they would have to plan, and I'm sure they've talked about it. In theory, they have to say, let's say we have 3,000 people that did 3 NFTs each. We need to hold a venue where we could accommodate this, which I guess the buying of the NFTs would pay for that.
$30 million if they sold all those NFTs.
Okay, I believe you're the math guy. Okay, well, let's see.
I have it on my calculator right here. I did it just to be sure.
So they can afford a gala spectacle event, as they say. So that being said, yes, here's the thing. There's people that have money. I don't have that kind of money. But $3,000 to some people with money is like $30 to you and I, the ratio, right?
It's true.
There will be people who are Sly fans that have just that kind of money. They just, they make that in a week. And they will say, I'll drop $9,000 to see Sly, and they'll do it. I would be interested, if anyone's listening to this episode that knows somebody with that kind of cash that's going to do this, I want to hear from you. And especially if you do this event, I want to hear about it. So keep us posted in your emails.
Yeah, personally, even if I had the money, I don't think I'd do it, because, okay, if I was like a billionaire or something where $9,000 was nothing, but to the vast, vast majority of people, $9,000 is a pretty large sum. To me, it kind of goes down to never meet your heroes type of thing. Your expectation of what it's going to be like to talk to Sly is almost certainly much better than what it'll actually be.
I don't think most people would even get a chance to talk to him.
I think you would. I think if you drop $9,000, he'll meet each person.
Do you think he really is interested or cares about you, or
I think we might be a little bit hard on him here because it is about the money. But I think at the end of the day, if he had 100 people in front of him that paid $9,000 each, he's going to meet each person. That's why I kind of want to hear if anybody's heard of anyone. This is going to be, down the road, but listening to this episode, if you hear of anyone who's done this, who's going to do this NFT thing times 3 to meet Sly, I want to hear that experience. Maybe I'll get somebody on the horn for that. That being said, we're talking about money again. Yeah, whatever the ratio is, whatever you think, like if you have so much money where it's just, then I would just spend it, go see Sly. Because they always say, don't buy things, buy memories, buy experience.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a situation where, if I'm a billionaire, even if I had $100 million, whatever, that's a lot of money. Even if I had 50 million, whatever the number where it's like irrelevant, I make this an interest in an hour back. So I would buy the experience, even if my hero meeting was uneventful or silly or not what I hope, but I'm buying the experience. It's something I can talk about. Like, hey, I bought 3 NFTs and met Sly. That's something you can talk about. You can't. That's what you're buying. You're buying the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think it's a ripoff. I don't know, Katie, don't actually say this, but your trip to Ecuador or Africa or something, however much that costs, I bet you that was a much better experience than it would be having some one-night dinner with Sly.
Absolutely. I mean, particularly Africa, because that was my like dream of a lifetime trip. I don't know if I mentioned this on the pod before. I've mentioned it to people. It was the most amazing experience I've ever had. And it touched my soul. As lame as that sounds, I'm like changed forever as a result of that trip. It was amazing. Yeah.
But to me, that's the experience you want to buy. Unless you're so wealthy that 9,000 is nothing to you and that you could really do anything you want, then I would say that's way too much for that experience. What also bothers me about this too is that he's personally profiting off it. I would look at this much more favorably if that $9,000 went to like Ukraine or something charitable, where he uses his star power to benefit other people. You could donate 9,000 to Ukraine and also get to meet Sly. Like, to me, that's a way better deal. Like, that, to me, that experience would be worth it, knowing I've helped people and I get to meet Sly. But the idea that I get to meet Sly and I'm putting 9,000 in his pocket or his manager's pocket or whatever, that doesn't sit right with me at all.
All right. I told you these emails are going to produce a couple of talking points.
Mm-hmm.
But Donald, who's in our Discord, who wrote this email, he did say Sly was very nice at that Comic-Con, to be fair to Sly. He was very nice. And he did meet everyone that paid for the signature, whatever, the $800 or $500 for the picture at the time. So back then, at least 8 years ago, he was very kind, very cordial, very nice to everyone that met him. So,
well, that's nice to hear.
Better be. You should be nice anyway. You shouldn't be an asshole. Like, maybe the bar's that low for celebrities. But if someone's literally paying to see you, you should at least be nice to them.
Everyone that's met Sly that I've heard, at least publicly, I haven't heard he was a jerk to me discussions. I haven't heard that. You hear about other celebrities?
Same. I don't mean to be argumentative here, but
you're bringing up points that people are also thinking that are listening. There's a variety of people that have different opinions about this situation. All right.
Donald goes on to say, by the way, Planet Sly also has a Discord server, and Sly is teasing a possible Q&A in it if they get enough new members. You guys may want to join just for that.
I actually did see that, and I would like to join that, but at the very least, check it out. So yes, I'm going to pop into that Discord server, so thanks, Donald, for that reminder. Okay.
Awesome. In other bad news, he has a reduced role in The Expendables 4, appearing in what he said was about 25-30% of the film. The teaser poster featured Sly's name last on the right in the with category, like with Sylvester Stallone. Further confirming this, and can we talk about the dumb tagline? They'll die when they're dead. What does that even mean?
I guess it's over when it's over. Yeah, I didn't hear no bell. I don't know. I guess that's the tagline. So yes, I put this on my Twitter. I don't know if Donald follows me on Twitter, but I tweeted the cast, I guess, poster, like cardboard poster. It's huge. It shows all the cast. And, Jason Statham is first, and then it's like Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent is like second, and Dolph Lundgren. And so, yeah, we knew that Sly was only on set like for maybe a week, 4 or 5 days, so very short.
Oh,
yeah. So even hearing that he's in it 20 or 30% of the film, I find even. So I got a feeling he gets killed at the beginning.
You think?
Statham takes over as leader of the Expendables, and there's no plot released. Nothing has been released, but that's my guess. Donald's saying at the end of the poster, it says with Sylvester Stallone. So he's passing the torch. Look, he's 75 years old. Like, he's not going to do the Expendables for another 20 years. And the fact that we're even getting a fourth film I'm surprised. I'm excited. I'm going to watch it just because Sly's in it, and, why not? But yes, go in knowing that Sly is almost cameoing in it. If you go in with that kind of expectation, I'm sure it's going to be a fun film. Watching Jason Statham, you're never bored. I've always said about him, he's a solid actor. He's a solid, charismatic action star. You never watch a Statham film going, oh my gosh, this guy's such a vacuum of charisma. No, he's fun to watch. He's easy to watch. He does his job very well on screen. I've got no problems with Expendables 4. I know Sly is going to be in it reduced wise. But yeah, it'll be what it'll be. Hopefully it's just not going to be garbage. But they're all fun. I enjoy them all. Even though people don't like part 3, I still think it's fun. Mel Gibson was great in it. But
Yeah, he says, in happier news, Paramount Plus has apparently picked up the streaming rights to Tulsa King. Will Ryan still be podcasting about it?
yes, I would. Thanks for the reminder. Yes, I am going to do. I know everyone's busy, so I don't know how I'm going to do this. I might just do like 20-minute. How did I feel about episode 1? 20 minutes. How did I feel? Like not like a big. I'm going to talk about every character. I'll probably just focus on Sly's performance and general storyline of the show. But I'm very excited. Look, the guy that's writing these episodes is the guy that did Yellowstone, Taylor Sheridan. Just Google Taylor Sheridan. He did Yellowstone, 1883, some other films like Hell and High Water with Jeff Bridges and Chris Pine. Just a very accomplished, kind of has a Western feel to his writing. Very well-regarded, good writer. And I'm very excited to see what this good writer who does good scripts and stories does with Sly. It goes without saying it's very exciting. And Sly has been, of course, it's called the Tulsa King. Sly is a mafia king mob guy who gets sent to Tulsa, Arizona. Is that it? Is it
Oklahoma?
Gets sent to Oklahoma from, I guess, like the East Coast. So I don't know what the reasons are. The plot, it hasn't been revealed, but I guess he gets kind of banished and or escapes or whatever. So he's trying to, but he's still the Tulsa.
I cannot wait for this.
I know.
I can't wait because these are the exact roles that he should be doing right now. Yeah. He's old enough now to be the boss.
Yeah, I guess that grizzled, like Marlon Brando in The Godfather type H. Yeah, you're older. Yeah, you've earned your right to be the king of, to be the king of the mafia. So yeah, it's going to be, Taylor Sheridan writes violent stuff. So
okay, good.
I'm looking forward to some violent Stallone, bad Stallone.
Okay, so the next one is from Kim Coleman, my friend Kim. She says, hi, Ryan, Kyle, and Katie. I love listening to the One More Round series. I'm so glad you decided to do One More Round. I think it's a neat idea because of how it directly relates to Rocky's sentiment on going one more round. Plus, well, Katie. Of course she says that. She's my friend. Love a woman's perspective on the movies.
Yeah, we love Kim, and we love that she's enjoying this, and she's your friend. I think she's great.
Kim hadn't seen the Rocky movies growing up. You kind of introduced her to that. You got her hooked on the Rocky. Nice.
Yes. I think she references that in a second. She says, I've watched up to Rocky 5 now. I think I agree with most when I say it's not my favorite. No surprise there. I'm also pleased to hear that your sister-in-law has taken the title from me of first-time Rocky watcher. I feel like I'm in the big kids club now. Yeah,
it's funny. So your friend Kim she's not the Rocky virgin. She's been violated like a parking meter. She's busted. Yeah, my sister-in-law is just semi-busted.
Well, I was shocked that your wife's dad hadn't seen it.
Nobody's perfect, right, Ryan?
No.
My wife hated Rocky when she first saw it. We were dating at the time, and I almost had to turn it off. I'm just going to ignore this. I'm just going to pretend this never happened. But she's warmed up to it. She actually, I don't know if I should say this. She didn't mind Creed.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't mind it. I don't dislike it.
Yeah, modern audiences who aren't familiar with the Rocky films would like Creed. It's a modern take on it. Yeah.
But yeah, she likes a lot of shit I hate. Like she likes to watch Real Housewives and stuff like that. I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I think I'm more like a guy, apparently, because I also hate all of those types of shows like Bachelor. So Kim says, please put me down for 42 bums in the bum count, Kyle.
I'm recording it right now. 42. So she is between Ryan at 36 and Louise at 46.
All right.
There's not a lot of room there. That's a brave pick.
Yeah.
Honestly,
okay.
There's as many bums as I thought. Yeah. And Katie, you're like you're at 2.
I got by Rocky. Okay.
You can say, never mind. Okay, I'll say it, but I feel bad. Since this is the bum count, I was going to say bum, but I'm like, that's a little crude.
Absolutely not. Okay. Kim then says, I agree with the spitting in baseball dugouts. Disgusting.
Oh, thank you, Kim. Thank you.
And she says, the thing that pisses me off about that is someone else has to clean that up. I wouldn't care at all if they cleaned the dugout themselves, but the cleaning crew has to do it.
I like your friend Kim more and more, Katie.
She's
She
pretty
seems
solid.
cool. Like, I see pictures of you and her hanging out and stuff. She seems cool, and then she writes stuff like that. She's high on the list here of people, of fans that are like...
She's a good human. Then she says, has Greg the Third written in yet? Since you aren't doing Creed, he may like this round better. # where's Greg the Third? I think she means Greg the First.
Well, I don't know.
No?
Did we have a third Greg? I know we had a...
No, I don't
We
think
had
so.
the other Greg, and we had Greg the First, and then we had the other Greg. Did we have a third Greg?
I know.
I don't believe so.
I don't think so, but I think it was Greg the First that really disliked our...
Like, if Greg the First, if you're listening, please, by all means, let us know that you like... he might be hate listening right now, because he started really not liking, I think, our takes on Creed. Like, it wasn't just the fact that we didn't like Creed as much as he did. He didn't like how we didn't like it, which I think is whatever. That's his right, and it's our right to say what we want. It turned into, it's kind of, I guess I feel bad, because you start listening to a podcast, but then you started to hate listening to us, then he, like, said F you and left. And then the other Greg kind of left our show too, so I don't know, but I don't think it was as... I think he just might have gotten bored with us, but the other Greg left too. So, but if either Greg is listening, let us know your feelings now and how we're tackling one more round, because I agree with your friend that I think we're doing great. I think we're not back on track, but I can't imagine anyone who's a Rocky fan is listening to this coverage and thinking, oh, these guys they're crapping all over Rocky. No. We're back into the groove of, that's why we told people we're not doing the Creed films on this redo.
Mm-hmm. Then Kim says, Kyle, never say granny panties on air again. Bah ha ha ha. And well done on explaining crypto and NFTs in One More Round episode 3. Keep punching, Kim.
I vaguely remember saying that, but I don't remember the context of which I said that word. I won't say it now.
Dipper's locker when Rocky busts it open.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? They were there. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Those were cheap.
The next email is from Melissa. Hi, Ryan, Katie, and Kyle. Sorry I haven't been on the live Discords. I can't do Sunday mornings due to church and family lunch, but I'm still a faithful podcast listener and Patreon. I've always thought that the Apollo chanting was an audio recording piped through his gym to pump him up and replicate a live crowd cheering.
She's Team Kyle on that, okay? So we're still kind of divided on that between in Apollo's head, and they actually set up a stereo system of some sort in his gym to chant his name over and over again. Okay.
I don't know. I'll have to rewatch it to see, because I don't remember thinking one way or the other about it. But we are heathens for doing this on Sunday mornings, aren't we? So she says, I always took the cross, etc., as a religious aspect for Rocky. Also, Rocky Balboa has some religious undertones too. And Sly always makes it a point of showing Rocky praying in the locker room before the fights and also in the ring corners in all of the movies. I've heard interviews with Sly saying he was raised Catholic and reconnected with his faith at different times in his adult life. She says, this section of the first film always makes me laugh hard at Mickey. The way he snaps at Rocky is rude and hilarious. I love going through these films again. All the best, Melissa K. I also loved Mickey in that first scene too.
Shut up.
He's a bum. Did you win? Yeah, he's a bum. So the last email is from Doug. Hello, friends. I wanted to weigh in on Ryan's mention of religious symbolism in the movie. Ryan mentioned Rocky prominently displaying a crucifix necklace, and yes, that's a big one. There's also Adrian's Hospital, which is a Catholic hospital with nuns as nurses, and a crucifix above Adrian's bed. Not to mention the wedding is in a Catholic church, the huge ornate chapel in the hospital, and Rocky going to Father Carmine for a blessing before the fight. A more subtle example is the color blue being a symbolic color for religion, according to color theory. Rocky wears a blue t-shirt in all of the hospital scenes while he's waiting for Adrian to get better, and her room number is 669, which is called the angel number and has deep religious background referencing guardian angels and spirituality. It's also considered the opposite of 666, or the number of the beast. And Ryan, Burgess Meredith's ad-lib of the line, "Did you ever consider retiring?" was done in his audition. And Sly loved it so much he wrote it into the script.
That makes more sense. Yeah, so, because, no offense to Sly, but he played off it very well. That's like, was that? Yeah, so the ad-lib was, okay, during rehearsal, and then they perfected it for the film. It makes sense. So thanks, Doug, for that clarification. So the line's still ad-lib, but not on film in that moment. It was ad-lib during rehearsal. Okay, perfect. So Doug does the Rocky Minute podcast on our feed, and he goes into this great coverage on his Season 2, Rocky 2 coverage.
Rocky also wears this baby blue suit whilst job hunting. too. So I just wanted to add that because that is a very odd color for a suit. I think even for the time, baby blue suit like that. So
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen a lot of those, like Dumb and Dumber.
Right.
He had
Wow.
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I always think of the 70s as like brown, burnt orange, or
It made me chuckle when he talked about the color theory because it was kind of a running gag on their Rocky Minute podcast for throughout, but the color theory stuff.
All right.
But yeah, he says, love you guys and loving the coverage of the movie. Keep punching Doug.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. We love Doug. A lot more to go here. Really quickly, I listened to Adam Carolla because I like his style, I like who he is. But he had a guest on that shared a story. Henry Winkler, of course, who plays the Fonz at Happy Days. Now, Henry and Sly, they met on the set of Lords of Flatbush, 1974, and this was just before Henry got big as the Fonz on Happy Days, because Happy Days started in 74 as well. 18 months later, Sly actually calls up Henry saying, hey, my car broke down. He was married to Sasha at the time, his first wife, Sly, and can you give me a handout, so to speak? And Henry actually took Sly and his wife and their dog, Butkus, at the time, gave him like an apartment. This is according to Henry. So what we're about to hear right now is this has just happened where you'll hear the rest. This is where you're going to hear the conversation kick in.
First wife, Sasha, and their dog, this slobbery bull mastiff. My car broke down. I don't know what to do. I said, don't worry. You stay right there. I'll come and get you. I got him, his wife, their possessions, his dog into an apartment off of Sunset Boulevard, I think like on El Camino or whatever. I don't know what it's called. Off of Sunset Boulevard. I got him settled into his apartment. He gave me a script. He said, I want you to take the script, see what you could do. I take it to ABC. I said, I'm telling you, here's a guy I worked with. Here's the script. They buy the script. All of a sudden they say to me, but you know what? We're going to change the writer. I said, oh my God. I call Sly. I said, hey, the good news is they bought the script outright. They want to change the writer. He said, don't let them do that to me. I said, okay. I went back to ABC. I said, I know you don't do this. Here is all the money back. I need that script. They said, no. We really don't do that. I said, I understand you don't do that. I really need you to do that. I really need you to give me back the script. Here is all the money back. Just please give me the script. I get the script back. Now, certainly because I was a star on one of the most important series at that time for them, ABC, it didn't hurt. They gave me back the script. I went to Sly. I said, here is the script. A year and a half later, Rocky came out.
That was the script for Rocky.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I'm a little bit confused about Henry saying they wanted to change the writer. That's the part I'm confused about. So it's kind of cool that Henry had the script. He gave the script to ABC saying, basically, can you guys do something with this? There's my buddy shopping the script around. He's trying to get it produced. But he mentioned that the ABC wanted to change the writer. Now, that's the part I'm confused about.
I would guess that, you know how you could ghostwrite for people? Perhaps they wanted to have Sly essentially as a ghostwriter for that script, and then they could have a more prominent name as the writers. The script would be more successful, which Sly wouldn't like because this is his break. That's my guess, but I really don't know.
Script can be reworked or rewritten so many times that very little of the original ends up being a part of it. So I wonder if that's kind of what they mean. Like they like the skeleton or the general idea of it, but that they want someone else, to Kyle's point, more known. Yeah.
And Donald says the same thing in the chat. He goes, I'm guessing he means they wanted another guy to rewrite it. Yeah, so you guys are right. So they kind of like what we see here, but we want to ABC it, so to speak, ABC network it. And Sly's like, no, this is my baby. Can you please? So Henry was really cool. What Henry did is Henry, with his own money, said, what did you guys buy it for? I'm going to spend that same money, give you the money back. Can I just have that script back and give it to Sly? Like, you have the ownership of this, This was 18 months before the movie came out. Sly almost lost the script to ABC.
Also, this is the first I'm hearing of Henry Winkler having anything to do with the story. I mean, we've all heard so many versions of the story, but I've not. It's funny, everybody's kind of claiming a part of it. But
for Henry to say this, I mean, is he lying? Is he misremembering 40 years later, 45 years? Who knows, right? But I would suspect they were friends from the movie set. The timeline works.
Yeah, I don't think he's lying. I think it's just interesting that, I mean, maybe this whole time he's like, why have I not like gotten any credit for having a part in this? And he has a chance to kind of talk about the story now.
And there you go. So that was, I think you guys might find that interesting, and our listeners. So there's the Henry Winkler involvement, Rocky. And one last thing, and then we'll get to the movie. I told you this is a big, a lot of stuff happened the last couple weeks. Sly on his Instagram, during his filming of Tulsa King, was at the stable or at an event, barrel racing, right? The horse barrel racing event. And he did a little, his like keep punching video to the fans about being there and what have you. And he offhandedly mentioned, now I'm going to say something, and probably Kyle and or Katie or both of you will say, well, of course, Ryan, duh. But before you do, just let me get my part out. And I guarantee you there'll be a couple listeners who might be like, I had no idea. Because I put this on Twitter and I put it on Reddit, and I had people say, I had no idea as well. So I know I'm not alone, but I might be in the minority. Okay. Stallone means horse in Italian. And I didn't know that. And thus the moniker, the Italian Stallion, from his last name, Stallone. I never made that connection at all. Now, a couple of people in Reddit said, well, they made that connection, but the reason why they did was one guy was from South America. So for him, the Spanish was always there. Italian and Spanish are very similar. They made that connection right away. And I did Google it. Stallone is actually Italian for horse or stallion. The Italian Stallion was literally written, that moniker, that nickname that Stallone put on his character, sounds like a damn monster movie, was actually because that's his last name. Now, if Stallone was born, I don't know, Sylvester Giraldi, who knows, he wouldn't probably had the moniker, the Italian Stallion. So Stallone said this in this little throwaway moment on his Instagram video, and I Googled it, and sure enough, Stallone means stallion in Italian. So the Italian Stallion. So I love that. I didn't know that. All these years, that moniker is from his last name.
First I've heard of this. That's cool.
I also never made the connection, but it totally makes sense that Stallone is Stallion.
So I think if you don't speak Spanish or Italian, if you do speak Spanish or Italian, you're saying to us English people, well, duh.
Yeah.
Because I don't translate. I just always saw that as a last name. I never thought of it as a word.
I wonder if it's like Stallone.
I just ran the audio of it on Google Translate, and it's Stallone.
That's cool, though. Yeah. Italian Stallion.
Yeah, but that's cool. Again, Sylvester using his real life into his movies. It's just amazing. Okay.
I was just catching up on the chat.
Oh, okay. Where are we here? Yeah. Oh, I see.
Luis didn't put it together either.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. I'm not alone. Okay.
I know. And he said he's usually keen to those types of translations. Yeah.
Yeah, exclusively here on One More Round. Okay. All right.
Oh, Donald, Donald's, when we were talking about Greg the First, you're doing real good. Greg should have seen you. That's awesome.
Oh, okay. Okay. I saw that written, but I didn't get it. Okay.
Yeah, I did real good. You should have seen me.
You should have seen me. I did real good there, Greg the First. Boy, he hates us now. He's going to hate us more now because I'm calling him out. I shouldn't say that. But I feel bad, but he did. I don't know. Last episode, we left off with, of course, Mickey yelling at Rocky. Rocky said he's going to go take a steam. The next scene here is Rocky walking out of the gym, and it's dark now, so I guess he did take a steam, right? So here we go. Of course, for our listeners, Rocky's walking into Adrian's pet shop, place of work.
Cold night. Good night to catch pneumonia, You need some help with that case? There's a good game down at the Spectrum tonight. Want to go to the basketball game? Hey, but kiss, hey, kid.
I always found it interesting that Rocky invites her to a basketball game. Like, did he have tickets? How much were the
You must have just been able to go get them. It must not be sold out. You could just show up and get tickets, probably.
I'd be interested to see the 76ers record back then, but if a team really sucks, there's usually some available seats.
Well, that's just it, guy, but I would suspect that the NBA, I suspect there's a lot of sold-out games. It depends on the time of year. This is November, so this is mid-season, playoffs haven't started yet, but still the idea that you could just, walk up to the ticket counter and say, hey, can I have a couple tickets for the Philadelphia 76ers?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the standings for 75-76 season. They did clinch a playoff spot. They were the last team to clinch a playoff. Like, they're 8 games back of first.
Was this the era? I wonder if Dr. J was on the Sixers at the time.
Oh, wow.
The only reason I know that is because I've been watching the Lakers show on...
Is it good?
It's really good. That's the only reason I know. So in 1980, Dr. J was playing for the 76ers. So I don't know if he was a few years prior, but nosebleed seats, were probably pretty cheap. Regardless, like everything has just like exponentially gotten so expensive. Like concert tickets used to be really cheap. One of the things that I noticed watching this is Rocky comes in and he asks her, he's not just like saying things, he is asking her questions and she does not respond.
No.
She is just like a human being in the world. Even if you are shy, it's just common courtesy to, didn't you guys think it was weird that she didn't even answer him?
Yeah, he comes in, starts talking, invites her to a game, and I love how the dog barks to avoid that awkward moment where she doesn't answer, but the dog barks. Oh, hey, Buckus, hi, kid. And it's like, oh, good. Someone broke the silence here because there's nobody speaking. So I'll talk to the dog.
I think Adrian probably suffers from a fairly acute form of social anxiety.
She comes out of it real quick then, a little while.
She does, and that's probably not that realistic.
Yeah.
Right? I'm guessing everyone shits on her all the time type of thing, especially Polly, who she lives with. I think she's just nervous and just doesn't know what to say, and I think she just kind of puts her head in the sand.
Yeah.
A couple of great points here. Baz from our Discord said Sly always thought she'd say no, so he just asks because it's like, hey, I'm interested in dating you, but he kind of figured she'd say no anyway, so he just asked all the same. Louise in our Discord said the NBA was in the crapper during the 70s, so they could have easily gotten tickets back then. All right.
Tough day today, They took my locker away. I had that locker for about 6 years, but don't bother me none. Lockers are bad anyway. After a while, people get the combination. I must have had $20 taken out of there in the past 6 years, Don't sound like much, but it adds up. Doesn't matter. Who cares,
So I love this anti-security lockers. He's like, lockers are bad luck because people take money from them because they get the combo. Number one, why are people getting the combo of your locker and then pilfering money from you over those years? But he had $20 over 6 years. Kyle, do you want to work out how much?
About $375 a year.
What's that for inflation? Oh, we're going crazy.
Like $100 total, right?
Maybe $100 total. I guess that's good chunk of change over. The locker is a bad luck. He's already kind of like making. Yeah. Like I kind of like having my stuff on Skid Row because that's much more secure.
Yeah, you lose money in a locker. Wait till your stuff's on Skid Row, where like anyone could go in there at any time.
Just full on take it. He very much cares about this. He goes on about the locker for quite a while as he's saying, it don't bother me none. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Like he keeps saying it doesn't matter, but clearly it does.
It's kind of like Ryan talking about Greg.
Yeah.
Greg's been listening to me for 6 years. For 6 years, he's been sticking to me. I want to know why.
You could have been a good podcaster. Instead, you waste your time with these two.
I know you guys are not the problem. It's me. I'm the problem.
No. I came on down hard. I also just wanted to comment how I think Adrian is gorgeous. Even how they have her trying to look dowdy. I think she looks gorgeous. Cheekbones, beautiful lips, beautiful nose, eyes.
I love her.
I have conflicting thoughts on Adrian. I think she looks attractive here. But then she also kind of resembles my mom back in the day, which makes me go like, ah!
Very Freudian, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I can't be attracted to her. Like, I just can't.
Back to the Future.
Yeah, exactly.
They do say, though, I actually read a book about this, but they do say that people are typically attracted to someone who resembles their opposite sex parent. So for you, it would be your mom. Yeah.
I think that's what it is, which is funny because like my wife doesn't look at all like my mom, but I'm attracted to her. So I found a happy medium. But
yeah.
For glasses, by the way, those are Talia Shire's real glasses that she got from her eye doctor.
They're
Nice.
amazing. The cat eyes actually help make you more beautiful. They lift your face up, like your cheekbone. Yeah, so I think the glasses add to her beauty in this case. I like them.
Yeah, because she talked about how, of course, this is a low-budget film, so a lot of the actors kind of brought their own gear to wear for the film. So those are her personal glasses that she got from her eye doctor.
Does anyone here have birds? If anyone has birds, I need you to bring them to set tomorrow.
Kim could probably write in. She used to have birds, and she has chickens now, but she used to have whatever the little like pet birds like this.
Cold night. Hey, birds. Hey, look who's here. Look who's here. The giant worm.
Of course, he's using his finger as the giant worm.
He's got dad jokes from like the get-go, always.
Look at these birds. Don't these birds look like candy, Like flying candy? Hey, bird, you want to fly me home? You need somebody to walk you home,
His segue game is pretty strong here. He mentions that the birds look like flying candy, which I think is a great metaphor or just, analogy of what they look like because they're very colorful. I don't know what kind of birds these are. Are they parakeets or what are they? Budgies or...
Ryan, I'm glad you pointed that out because I noticed it's we remember it, very unique way of describing them as so many other things that he does or says. Like they're very specific, like nobody else says these things. Like there's a lot of like Rocky talk. He says things unusual.
That's what I love about the character. And it's stuff like this is why I like the Rocky character so much. Because he's quirky.
Yes, good way of describing it.
Yeah.
And then he says to the birds, do you want to fly me home? Which is an odd thing to request of these birds to fly Rocky home. But then he segues really quickly to Adrian, you need somebody to walk you home. His segue game is very on point.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some game. Give him that. He'd probably get laid a lot more if he was not going after Adrian all the time.
Well, he did have a girlfriend. We find out in Rocky 3, he did have a girlfriend. Paulie set up Rocky with his first lay, but the girl was already pregnant.
I mean, we don't really talk about it. I think part of why we like him is because he could get laid all the time. Aside from the fact that he has no money, but women doesn't care about that. He's got it going on. He's dangerous. Like he's got a mobstery job. He's very good looking. He's got a great body. Like if you like a dangerous man, which most women do, but he doesn't. Like he doesn't use that. He's not like a player, which I love.
He could probably hook up easily.
Yeah.
There's probably not a lot of women who would be in a serious relationship with him, given what he does for a living and where he lives and stuff like that. He could smash and leave.
So Adrian talks for the first time here. She does say no. She actually answers this question, no. And then Rocky says, no?
No. It's a cold night, If I was you and you got the money, I would take a cab or something. Too many creeps around here,
Okay, there's a couple things again here. Very subtle, very cool. He's pretty smooth again about the rejection. He's like, yeah, that's cool. But, if you do walk home, make sure you take a cab because it's cold outside. But also, you want to protect yourself from the creeps. There's too many creeps around here. Now, this is a great directing moment by John Avildsen because he pans the camera from the conversation in front of Adrian's face to the back of her head because there's a mirror behind the cashier. I guess there's a mirror there at the pet shop for whatever reason. And the camera's now looking at the mirror, looking at Rocky, talking to Adrian. It's a great little moment. They'll see the camera pan back to Rocky, to his, it's just a great little directing moment because now he's talking about the too many creeps. And we're kind of led to believe is Rocky, not that he's a creep, but he would look like somebody who would be a creep to Adrian if he didn't know his intentions or otherwise.
For sure, especially with the bandage on his eyebrow like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this guy's been in a fight. We know he's a boxer, but you wouldn't know that. It's funny, I ran into a guy the other day as I was going to Home Depot, and you could very much tell he got in a fight. Like he had like marks around his eyes and stuff like that. I was a little bit more on guard, just because in my mind, risk goes up. This person fights. He may have been a victim for all I know, but you don't know that, right? At the time, that's all you see. Yeah, he does kind of look creepy. He's all in black like this.
Yeah.
His face is busted up. He's also like accosting her, essentially, right? Like he walks into the store. He's there all the time. And unlike the first time he was there, where she kind of laughed at his joke, Like, she didn't seem like that bothered by the fact he was there. She was answering his questions before, but he was like, "Oh, how's the turtle food today?" She's like, "Fine." Like, fine's not a great answer, but it's an answer. Whereas here, he comes in like late at night, which is kind of like you're in a bad part of town. Probably you're probably a little more on edge. She's not even talking to him, other than saying no, a straight up no when he asks to walk her home. He does kind of come across as a creep here, especially if you're seeing this movie for the first time and don't know who he is. We don't know anything about him. We just know he fights. He lives in a shitty apartment. He got his locker taken away.
Yeah, good point. This time it's nighttime and she's also by herself. A couple things that I noticed about this was, one, I wonder if there was like an intentionality, is that a word? About the use of the word creep. I know they say creep and bum a lot in this movie, but I wonder if like he's like, there's a lot of creeps around here. And then a little bit later, little Marie basically calls him a creep. He's saying there's a lot of creeps around, and
I think we're to assume creeps are people that are out to, I think it's a sexual
predators or something.
Like a sexual predator.
Yeah. I'm curious how far away you guys think her place is from the pet shop, because it appears as though Rocky's apartment is like just around the corner, and he's close enough to like, in theory, yell out the window to Polly. So they must live pretty close to each other. It appears as though his house is just around the corner from the gym and the pet shop. Like,
it's like a sitcom. Everyone's close by. You just walk right in.
I never remember this guy's name. We have the guy who does the Google Map stuff. It shows Brian. I'm sorry, Brian, for forgetting you. I do really enjoy your contribution, though. He would tell you exact distances. Notwithstanding that, you can't assume that they're spaced out like that. I agree. They're pretty close. I always saw the yelling out the window thing as just a joke almost.
It is, I know, but I think he was...
I think it is a joke. There's a part of me that thinks that maybe Paulie might actually be close enough to hear it had he been listening.
Yeah. To take a cab, would you take a cab for like a few blocks? You know, like that's so silly.
It's creeps and it's cold out, you know?
True.
It's funny though, like knowing what we know, Adrian must know Rocky more than just from the pet shop, but like Rocky's a friend of Polly's, right? So not that Polly vouching for someone goes that far. It's got to count for something. You would think, even if she didn't really like him that much, she would allow him to walk her home, because that's something as a man I never realized till like I started, living with you live with a woman, you learn things about them. And one thing I learned was how afraid women are to go out, especially at night, and be alone. And if Adrian's this little mouse of a woman who's walking at night in Philly, you'd think she would appreciate someone like Rocky, because no one's gonna mess with him there.
If I were put in Adrian's shoes, I was trying to think if I would actually take him up on the offer. Probably because I'm like super attracted to him. So I'm like, yeah, sure, walk me home. Also because I wouldn't want to walk home at night by myself. But then there's also like a part of me that wouldn't, just because I know men, and like even a seemingly innocent man that has been coming on to me a lot. Most women have had many experiences where you wouldn't think somebody, like you think this person's just a friend and they still try and,
That's a really good point. Yeah, see, she's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, really.
Yeah.
A rocky and a hard place, yeah. Well, okay, a lot of great points. We're going to see, though, and I'm going to challenge you on everything we've just said, and to the listeners, everything you guys just said, to really where Adrian feels about Rocky. It's coming up very quickly. They'll be like, oh, of course. That being said, we got some good Discord chat going on here. People are saying that Kyle, the person that you met, was just another bum for the neighborhood, regarding your earlier comment there. Polly is the wacky sitcom neighbor that we have in sitcoms. Baz said that, trust me, that area of Philadelphia, you need an army, so he should have gone.
Oh.
And lastly, Donald said that regarding Rocky's sex life, he's pretty sure that Rocky was not a virgin before Adrian, but now he's after love. He wants love, not sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see Rocky as a 30-year-old virgin.
No. His first girlfriend, his first sexual experience was with a pregnant girl that Paulie set him up with.
Did they say it was a first time?
Who set you up with your first girl? Me, Paulie.
Okay.
But she was pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that weird Rocky. It's such an odd thing in Rocky 3. Okay, we're going to keep playing this out to when Rocky leaves. I want to lead that discussion. Okay.
You ever get blocked as a creep? You can always tell a creep.
All right, listen, I'm gonna go now, okay? Listen, I'll see you later, all right? I know you guys get up. I know you had a hard day in the cage, right? So, I wanna go home, make up a joke. I'm gonna tell you a new joke tomorrow, okay? Good night, Adrian.
Good night, Rocky.
Okay. Look at the way she looks at him. Good night, and she says, good night, Rocky. It's a kind of a pleading / I will see you tomorrow. Because he says, I'm going to go home, make up another joke. I'm going to tell you this joke tomorrow. This is a routine that's been happening for a while. And I know for first-time viewers, these are very subtle, but for multi-viewers like you and I, not just because we know where the relationship is going, but we see that Adrian, this is not a new discussion. They've had this discussion many times. And the fact that he says, I'll see you later, I'm going to come back with another joke, she's looking forward to it. And you can see in her eyes, almost her wanting here, that this is not an unwanted conversation. His presence is not unwanted. She suffers from the disease of shyness, and that's all it is. And Rocky recognizes this in her, and he's not creeping on her. On the surface, sure, he's usurping his maleness on her as a female, but we honestly, at the end of the day, we do know that Adrian wants this conversation. She's enjoying this. She likes having him around.
Good point.
Yeah, to be fair to Rocky, he's quite polite with her in the sense like he doesn't make any kind of sexual comments to her or anything like that. He keeps his hands to himself. He tells dumb jokes. He didn't follow up on the basketball thing. I think in general, he's pretty respectful towards her there. Like he doesn't come on that strong.
Agreed. And I think further credit to Rocky. He's perceptive enough to understand when he's worn out his welcome. He's like reading her, like she's not responding. Okay, I better get out of her hair now. And but I'm going to tell her I'll be back. Yeah.
But I think the basketball invite was the first time he's ever strictly asked her on a date.
Maybe.
We have no evidence to the contrary, right?
Yeah.
You don't have it, yeah. Just the way he kind of threw it. Hey, there's a game going on tonight. If you want to go. No, okay, buckets. I think he cast a net. Nothing was caught. He kind of played it off. Oh, I'm just talking about basketball. I think he's really shy too. He's like, oh crap, but he wanted to play it off as not as a rejection, but just like, oh, we'll try again later.
From a guy's perspective, asking a girl out that say you just met or something like that, and then she says no, that could be hard. Like no one likes being told no in that sense. But if you really like someone, like you're crushing on someone hard, you like this person, you just kind of know they're the one or whatever. It is really nerve-wracking to ask them out because you feel like if you fuck it up, if you do it wrong and they say no, you've blown it with this person. It is really hard. I don't have the stomach for that.
So he's very persistent as well. To Kyle's point, like he must realize that she might be just the one for him. And so he does this. Like he comes every day. Then he talks to Paulie about it. Would you guys, if put in a similar scenario, I feel like dudes now would never be this persistent.
I've been so long out of the dating game, I don't even know anymore. I don't know how to do this anymore.
Or would you be like, okay, there's somebody else. I'm going to shift my focus.
I think, I hate to say it because it sounds totally, not like I have any kind of game or girls are clamoring for me if I was single, but I would be like, okay, that's it. I'm done. I don't need you that badly. I'll find somebody else that's interested. Like, I don't care. It might still suck to be rejected or it might feel embarrassing for a moment. But once I'm told no, I'm like, no, okay, that's fine. When I was a single dad, long story short, when I was divorced and I was dating again, 2 marriages, I got rejected. I got people say no to me when I reached out and I just moved on. Rocky definitely is being more persistent than I ever would be. But for whatever reason, he sees something in Adrian that he just needs to have.
Yeah, for me, normally I would not be that persistent, mainly because I really, really do not like making people uncomfortable. And I feel like asking someone out multiple times when they don't show interest is rude and it makes them uncomfortable. And I don't like making people feel that way.
Sure.
But I don't know what I'd do if I ran into someone where I liked them the way Rocky likes Adrian. And maybe she isn't so much outright rejecting me as she's just shy and it's hard to get something going. I might, especially if I have a chance to run into her all the time. You know, she's right across the street from where I am all the time anyways. And we make excuses to see him. I might do it. Like on a very exceptional circumstance. Not as the rule, certainly not.
Yeah. Okay.
To answer your question, Louise piped and goes, Katie, for the right person, and if she's worth it, then yes, we might still go through hoops. She has to be really special, though. So that's what I mean. Adrian's really special.
Yeah.
And Donald's like, you can only get rejected so much, even if you think there's a shot. So at the same time, it gets to the point where... Last thing I wanted to say, though, about the neighborhood here. Keep in mind, Adrian has known Rocky as long as Rocky's known Polly. Again, Rocky and Polly were childhood
High school,
friends,
right?
high school friends, junior high friends at the very least, because they've known each other. So Rocky peripherally has known Adrian. And also, Adrian has been in this neighborhood. So it's kind of like, even though it's dangerous, quote unquote, I go to a lot of different ports as a sailor. And so what seems dangerous to me as a foreigner or somebody who's not used to the neighborhood and different countries and parts of the world is just normal for the people that live there. And so Adrian's been in this neighborhood her whole life. She works here. She works in this neighborhood. So she comes and goes all the time throughout the years and months or whatever. So she's familiar with the haunts and hideouts of this area. So Rocky's, trying to look out for her, but it's not like she lives, quote unquote, in a war zone, even in 1976. What I'm getting at is that she might feel more safe than we're giving her credit for, because she just knows the area. She kind of knows where the hoagie shop hangout people are and what have you. And so it's not a big deal to her. She kind of knows where to go. She's been here her whole life.
I think that element is absolutely true. But having said that, when it's dark out, I don't know, it's just like way more scary. Even if it's your neighborhood, like there could be,
From a male perspective.
Yeah.
One thing that always bothers me about the Lucky 7 Tavern, and to the listeners, you won't be able to see this, but it shows 2 dice.
Oh, yeah.
One is a 4. One is supposed to be a 3. But the way that the 3 is, it's like a triangle. Yeah. Everyone who's rolled a pair of dice knows that the 3 is a diagonal with dice. Mm-hmm. Like, who designed this? This is a real sign, right? Like I really doubt that was made for the film. It's just easier to go to an existing bar. I don't know that for sure, but I would guess that. I know this building isn't here anymore. Yeah, whoever did that, they f***ed up.
That's good. Catch.
Great observation. Yeah,
really good catch. So yeah, the 3 is not drawn correctly on that. I guess that's unique to the Lucky 7 Tavern, but the 3 die is drawn incorrectly. And also, a side note regarding your ability to catch these things, Kyle, Donald wanted to point out that you, on a previous Going the Distance episode, you mentioned that there was no game played the night of tonight when Rocky asked Adrian to the Spectrum game.
Oh, wow. I don't remember that. Yeah. That's cool.
Donald remembered you saying that. Boy, oh boy.
What do you guys think the purpose of, so on this scene, when they first show it, it's a close-up of the sign, Lucky 7, and then they pan out to see the building and Rocky pick up the drunk guy. Like, what do you think that's about?
Just to show the neighborhood, maybe. It's just a wide shot to show him picking up the bum or the drunk.
Well, that makes sense, but the close-up of anyway.
Just so Kyle can point out the dice, probably.
See, you can't see it right now. There's like women in the apartment above the bar.
That's right.
You stick their head out real briefly.
Yeah, there's people sticking their head out. That's true. I didn't notice that till today. Funny that you bring that up, Kyle. It wasn't until today that I noticed there's people through the windows behind the sign. There's people leaning out of the windows.
Probably like, what are you guys doing down there? Filming a movie?
I think so.
I wonder if that guy has a thing going up there. I don't know. In where I live, there's this bar. It actually burnt down recently, but it was called the Mila Pub. And it looked a lot like this, and it was in a really shitty area of town. It always had like the scariest looking people standing outside of it. And there were apartments above it, just like this. And I was always like, who lives up there? Who on earth would live above such a place? Now I wonder, maybe it's a business of some sorts. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the guy that he's picking up, his name is Lloyd Kaufman. Seems irrelevant. I agree. It's like, who's Lloyd Kaufman? Why is he here? He was actually a pre-production set guy, part of the film crew. Long story short, he's part of the film crew. So he paid his own SAG. Like he said, you don't have to pay me. I guess he paid himself just so he could be in the film. So he volunteered, like, yeah, go ahead and pick me up, Sly. Like, so he was just a film guy, a crew guy. He wanted to be in the movie. So Sly picks him up, puts him next to the drunk guy talking to himself inside the tavern. But his name is Lloyd Kaufman, but he has over 400 acting credits to this day. He still actively acts, but everything he does is schlock, C-D movie schlock horror type films. Like straight to video, I don't know what kind of quality. We're talking D-grade quality films. And I've reached out to him on his socials. I'm hoping to get an interview with him. Because
cool.
He worked on Rocky, and then he went straight to garbage type films. I kind of find that fascinating, that journey. I really want to talk to him about that journey. Like, how did you work on Rocky? And talk to me about your horror film stuff. So it's kind of fun. Okay, but look him up on IMDb, listeners. You'll see what I'm talking about. I think he would be a fun interview. I'm hoping he emails me back, but I've reached out to him. So here he is here, Lloyd Kaufman, film debut. getting dragged into next to the talking drunk guy.
So nice of Rocky.
I love this guy.
They carried him off.
Having an argument with somebody. The guy's name is Lefty. Here, Lefty, you got another friend for you here. So the guy talking to somebody in drunken state, his name is Lefty.
So he's like talking to himself. And I never caught this before, that Rocky's saying, I got a friend for you here, is like, you're talking to yourself. Now talk to this guy. Or I got somebody else here for you to talk to.
You got a friend for you.
You really get the sense, this is so outside my world. I've rarely walked into places like this. Like, I'd be too frightened. Like, have you ever walked in a really shitty bar? If you walk in a really shitty bar, feel eyes are on you right away.
Absolutely.
People are, like, checking you out to kind of size you up and see if you're trouble or whatever. I feel like this is that kind of bar.
There's actually, this is funny, a little just quick story that my friends and I, well, some of them don't like it as much, but in this area of town, it's all been like redone except for like a few spots. There's like a bar that's been there forever, and it's like all regulars. Like, it's still, you can still smell the smoke in there, but it's across the street from a beautiful lake. We go there every once in a while just because it's incredibly, when it's nice outside, because we'll sit outside on the patio and it's like insanely cheap drinks. They only take cash, but we walk in there and nobody's outside. All these regulars are just inside this dank, gross bar. But meanwhile, there's like this beautiful view outside, but people look at us like, what are you doing here? And then we tip well. And the regulars notice how much we're tipping, and they're like, dang, you guys are a good tipper. But it's like regular tipping, just like 20% or 25 or 30% because the drinks are so cheap. It's just crazy. So they must not tip well. And so they're like, we're like foreigners to them. Like, what are you doing here? Anyway,
It's good.
It's fun.
It's good size. So, of course, the bartender, hello, Rock, how you doing? So everyone's, Rocky's familiar here. Of course, Rocky knows the names of the patrons, Lefty at the drunk Lefty there. And this is Rocky's, he comes here a lot.
How you doing?
Well, it's rumored
You see Bully? Yeah, he's in the steam room.
So they're calling the bathroom the steam room again, is it?
that's what I meant when I mentioned it the other day. It's weird, but yeah.
Now, that bartender, I think his name is Don or Dan, I can't remember, but Don or Dan Sherman, and he's actually a comedian in real life. And I Googled him, and there's a YouTube video, 16-minute YouTube video that comes up of a stand-up. It's okay. It's kind of dated. It's all right. But he's a comedian by trade. There you go. Yeah. And I want to get this girl's name here. If somebody in our Discord knows her name, but she's got I hate to say, her teeth are kind of protruding out. She could have used braces when she was a kid, because they're kind of just out a little bit. But the way she talks, and she goes, "You, Rocky, what's with the eye?" I just like the way she talks.
She is so 70s. She is the epitome of this. Just the way she talks, the way she's dressed, the way she looks, her hair. Because like sometimes they really do overdid hair for the 70s, but I feel like this is kind of more what normal people would have looked like.
Yeah, definitely. This is 70s personified. Again, the way she talks. "Hey, Rocky, what's with the eye?" At least you want it at least, or so. Like, this is the way she
Use. I think, like, what is with the usage of use?
I knew a guy from like Northern Ireland, and he used that a lot.
might be education.
Because Rocky says it too, and it's like all the people in this neighborhood. So I was like, I don't know. Anyway,
It could be a lower education thing too. You use vernacular. It's not as
See how close I got.
Rocky could easily take her home. This is an example of someone Rocky could bang if he wanted to.
well, yeah.
Maybe he's already done it. That's why she's already familiar.
Oh, yeah.
Keep that in mind. When Rocky and Polly walk out later from the steam room, she's totally eyeing Rocky when he walks out. I think we're almost led to believe there was a past relationship, or she's got a crush on him. Because right away she shows interest.
Oh, yeah.
With the eye, so she's noticing something's different about him. I actually noticed watching this morning, kind of getting ready for the podcast, that she's checking out Rocky when he walks out. She's actually eyeing him. Maybe we're led to believe that at the very least she finds him attractive and wants a little bit of she wants to get busted by Rocky.
Wants some of
She's been
that.
busted a while back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Hey, Rocky, what's with the eye?
Good fighting.
Hope you've won it at least.
Hope he's won this at least.
You're real good. Should have seen me.
But I love how he's saying this again as he's walking away from her. He's totally brushing her off. I feel like maybe they
yeah.
some sort of like he's just. I think we're also seeing that She's kind of an attractive blonde-haired girl at the bar, but he's showing zero interest in having a conversation with her because he's got his heart on Adrian.
Also, for some reason, Katie, you might be able to comment on this. I think women sometimes like it if you don't give a shit.
It's one of those things we like it and we don't like it because it's like we want something that's kind of hard to get. It's more of a prize, so to speak, but then it's don't be a dick about it, you know. But I get the feeling she must be like a regular at this bar. She's sitting at the bar by herself. She must come on to Rocky a lot, and he's just like annoyed by her. Plus, to your point, Ryan, I think, he only has eyes for Adrian.
And we'll look at the patrons in the bar right now. You got two drunks slobbering at each other at the table, and you got this older guy playing pool, and then Paulie in the steam rooms. Rocky's a king of men right now. amongst
Her prospects aren't good.
And watch the guy playing pool, because he talks about Spider Rico, and Rocky grabs the ball and messes with the pool table. The guy gets mad about that, grabs the ball back, takes a shot, but watch his shot, because it's all close. Yeah, okay.
The heavyweight champion of the world, Apollo Creed, at Kennedy Airport in New York.
Who'd you fight? Spider Rico. Hey.
Is he still around?
Yeah, he's doing real good. He's doing better than you are, that's for sure. Hey, Paulie, what are you locking the door? Yo, Paulie.
Yeah. He made the ball in, though.
Also, he gave himself a better shot. He was near the edge of the table. He was trying to make a shot from width of the table, and then Rocky messes it. Usually you'd maybe try and return the ball fairly close to where it originally was. This guy moves it like a foot closer. Like you're playing pool by yourself, so
yeah, he's just fooling around. And then he grabs, and then he makes that shot. And of course, I don't know if you can plan this, but he hit the ball, got it in, but the ball bounced out. The white ball bounces out. Last thing here before we go, we heard the little bit of chatter on the TV in the background that Apollo Creed has landed at Kennedy Airport. So we're getting the first mention of Apollo Creed, the champion, is in the area, and of course now Paulie's in the steam room. And we'll start the next episode 6, introduction of Paulie and Rocky on screen together. Rocky, of course, is looking for Paulie. We should mention that because he asked the bartender, "Where's Paulie?" Of course, he's in the tavern. So, so Rocky's like, "I know he's drinking somewhere here. Where is he?" Yeah, we'll talk about why Rocky wants to see Paulie. A lot of great stuff. Great episode. Boy, usually we get a little bit more film done, but today there's just I'm still amazed we're finding Rocky stuff to talk about. It's great. I don't think we've repeated very much from the first go around.
Oh, good.
Oh, well, this is so different than the series that shall not be named.
That's right. We won't know. And people are still downloading that. In fact, we got one guy named Dan, so shout out to Dan. He found our Going the Distance podcast, and he's loving it. And he's trying to catch up so he can listen to these right now. But he says, you know what I might do? He says when he gets to the Creed films, he might listen to the One More Round with the Creed coverage on Going the Distance because he knows we're not doing Creed again. He's going to concurrently listen to both at the same time. So shout out to Dan. He's in our Discord as well. So yeah, thanks Dan. And thanks everyone who's joined us in Discord. We really appreciate the conversations, the humor. It's great having you guys listening to us live. If you want to be a part of that discussion, just click on the Discord link in every episode description, or just reach out to me on Twitter and ask for it, and I'll give it to you. Support us on Patreon as well. Again, what does Patreon give you? Nothing. It just makes you feel good knowing that you've given me a couple bucks saying, "Hey, Ryan, thanks for editing all these episodes and paying for the fee to support the Last of the Action Heroes podcast." It's just a way of saying, here's a couple bucks. Get yourself a cup of coffee, and that's it. So we appreciate that. I'm hoping if I get more patrons, yes, I'll do more or exclusive patron coverage of stuff. I've got a couple ideas, but all right, guys. Okay. Well, all right. Well, that's it. The episode's over.
Didn't hear no bell.